Part 2. How are we doing for time? Okay, we're right on time. Good. So now we have a sense of the planets as being beings. Again, we simply touched on it. We're going to be spending a week on each planet. So we're going to have more time to understand the moon and the different layers of it, the Mercury and different layers of it. We're going to expand this awareness of a planet and the sense of what's feeling and what's not, and how to see how it works in someone's chart. Okay, so then, but the next thing we have to do, which is what the work we're doing in our chart, is we have to take each planet. We're going to start with the moon next week. We take the moon and we're going to try to see, no matter if it's somewhere in the zodiac, it's going to be either daylight is increasing or darkness is increasing. They're either born between December 22nd and June 21st, which is the daylight increases, and from June 21st till December 22nd, the nighttime increases. We've been over this, it's just a review, but the movement towards, I got to be more free, or I got to use this energy more independently, I got to think for myself, or I got to want things for myself, I'm going to do my own thing, I want to understand my own way, I'm going to set my own rules. You see the Saturn going through these signs, or the planets going through those signs. When it's going through this darkness increasing, I need to belong, I need to be responsible, what do I need to do to fit in, how do I participate, what do I have to do, why is this happening to me? It changes the way we think. So one half is trying to be more independent and stronger and free. The other half is trying to be more receptive, more inclusive of people, more responsible. So this movement towards freedom or responsibility, for each of the 10 levels of planets, that represents the standard of your momentum towards freedom. If they all pile up to be on one side of the chart, you're going to see that extreme really closely. But this is the first category of the zodiac, and it's not one you'll find in most books. It's the basic natural observing thing. Daylight's increasing. We're going through winter and spring. We're in the summer or the fall. The nighttime's increasing. It's getting darker and colder. And all our behavior, all our crops, all our whole living states are affected by this. If we build buildings and we get out of touch, we get control of nature to some degree, or seem to be beyond it, something will accumulate that makes us sick or makes things vulnerable in other ways. So nature has its own way, but boy, man has a way of trying to overcome and change nature and then learn the repercussions of it after. How many buildings in an earthquake fall down because they weren't built properly, or were built in the wrong place, or how many dams were built and only had such a lifetime, or, oh gee, you go on forever talk. But this daylight increasing in darkness, you're going to try and take the moon, and you're going to try and see what does the moon in memory and feelings, when your basic needs need to be more independent or need to be more belonging. We all of us says we would want to belong, or someone that's trying to be more independent can be feeling smothered by anybody else demanding attention to them. Someone that's wanting to belong could feel threatened by someone pulling away and doing their own thing. So it seems like a simple thing, but it's a very primary, clear factor in understanding the zodiac and seeing how the zodiac affects the planet. So there's a sequence that we're going through this. We went through them already, but this movement towards freedom, as there's more daylight, we're more independent, we're more free, till you get to Gemini, so we're the most independent, freest thinkers of all, but also the least responsible. Donald Trump, good example. Geminis don't do well in politics, because politics are social political things, and Geminis are reaching towards their greater independence and their own thinking. But they get the Cancer up to Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. You're getting into the wanting to participate, wanting to belong, wanting to increase involvement with other people, and not wanting to just be alone. Other people become more and more important. So this is moving towards that belonging, or towards being ready to take on responsibilities, or trying to get away without responsibilities, or use them for yourself. That's the factor here. And as you apply it to each of the planets, you'll see which ones have picked up these attitudes. Second category, this is where half the year daylight is greater, half the year darkness is greater. So before we were seeing the momentum towards freedom and the momentum towards responsibility. Here we're seeing when daylight is greater, spring and summer. Those are the I, me, independent people. They're doing things their way. They're not the followers. They want their way. If they have a marriage, it's got to be their way. Or it's like they're independent. they have a natural relationship to freedom and difficulties in responsive, responsible interaction and involvement with others. So the fall and the winter signs, where the darkness is greater, are the halves where the need to belong and where other people are much more important. The team, the group is more important than ourselves. So here you have the socially involved people, the politicians, the people involved with each other. And they get their meaning by being part of the team. So you have the team and the individual. And you have a very blatant statement of which side this planet works on. We're going to do this for each of the planets. We're doing technically the same thing each week, but with each planet being different, we're seeing how it works and affects the planet in a unique way. This is really useful information. And it will make the difference around being a good astrologer. As soon as you just wing it and say, oh, Aries is impulsive, we'll just go with it, you've left out a whole idea that the impulsiveness is towards being more independent, and is being more independent and not more involved and more responsible. And you can see that's their way. How do they channel it? If you have the kid, how are you going to direct them? You'll certainly see when it's not following the orders of the team. So this is second category. It's worth, you see the category, you see a planet in this category, then you take some time. Oh, here's what I, oh, look at this. This probably means this, or this works like this. And then in my life, I've seen it like this. Just some little example. Once you start this, you'll see every time you go for, I can't think of that. Then there's thousands of different places where in 1 minute or one situation where that showed up. And then once you see one, you'll see others. But I just want one little example. In my life, this happened with my brother, or this happened with my mom, or this was it, or I'm always doing this, and here's an actual experience that showed how this worked. This is weaving the nature of the symbolism and the implication of it into the experiential bank of your own experiences. So you're making astrology yours by doing this. And as you do this, you'll develop your confidence, and you'll be able to talk. Once you've done this with your own chart, you'll be able to talk to other people about their charts and help them with their side of it. Okay, so that's it. This is the second category. Daylight is greater, darkness is greater. The third category is really what season is it in, which is a combination of the two. In the wintertime, darkness is greater, definitely, but daylight is increasing. So even though it's dark out and it's winter, we're still moving to get a little bit more independence, to get out a little bit more yourself. I'm going to do this. What can I get away with? What can I do? Inside of the context of the group and what's needed. That's the winter. In the springtime, you have daylight's increasing. Daylight is greater. So I'm being independent, and I want to be more independent. There's light out, and I want more light. I want to do more. I want to see what I can. I'm pushing things as far as I can during the spring, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, March 20th to June 21st. But as soon as we hit the first day of summer, this is why in June, when you're teaching the kids in school, that last month is really hard. Nobody's concentrating. Everybody's trying to do their own thing, and they're stuck in school or at work. But once you get to the June 21st, you have the summertime. Everyone has their holidays. I'm going to do my own thing. But I want to be secure. The nighttime is increasing, so I want to have a home. I want to have kids. I want to have work. These things all involve some responsibilities, but not so much that I'm not directing them myself. So I'm moving towards responsibility, towards belonging, but I'm doing it my way. This is the summer. I'm being independent, but everything I'm doing is pulling me into more responsibilities. That's very different than the Aries source. I'm doing my thing and I'm going further. Who cares? I want to go further, see if we can avoid the responsibilities or not even think about them. Two different attitudes, two different types. And then the fall, where the nighttime is increasing and the nighttime is greater, from Libra to Sag, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. These are the team players who want to belong. You're important to me. I love you. You were meant to be. You're my soulmate. You're destined to be with. We've got to sleep together. We're meant to be together. We're meant to be a team and work and see what we can. These are the people moving towards the team. And as you move through the team, they're really responsible. So they often see the other person as someone they want to be with more than they see how strong they are themselves. They want to respond to other people, be meaningful in the relationship to other people, and they feel their purpose is in that way. So each of these is very unique, but we can see the different seasons and get used to seeing this nature. It puts the previous two factors together. So you want to see if a planet is in each of these seasons, which season it's in, and And you want to make them, oh, that means it's like this, being more free, more free. Well, really, do I think like that? Do I feel like that? And then instantly you'll see places where that came up. This is not hard to get the experiences, but it's necessary so that you know how alive astrology is. If you do this and you do your chart thoroughly with all of this, it's better than studying 10 different people's charts with just looking at the surface and not really taking this deeper. So this is the foundation work and the cornerstone to building the right temple of astrology. Okay. Now, then the next factor after the seasons, you have the masculine or feminine signs. The fire and the air are the masculine signs: Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sag, and Aquarius. These signs, they'll take that sense of freedom and responsibility in whichever way they're working it, and they're going to use it. They're going to project it. If their planet's in a masculine sign, it's going to be projected. They're going to project it out. If it's in a feminine sign, it's going to be measured, and they're going to respond with it. They're going to have the attitude, and they're going to be wondering why and responding to it, rather than projecting it out. So the simple projection and reflection, it seems simple. When you look at someone's planets, when it's in a feminine sign and you're reflecting, you see that reflective nature. It feels secure to be around the person because they're not projecting the aggressive things. I mean, it's distinctly noticeable. So these categories, you have to see that they're noticeable. You have to see they're noticeable for you. And once you see them as they're noticeable for you, you'll start to see, oh, that's how they're processing. And then you'll see, that's why that person processes so differently than you. Everybody went to a boss, different things. It's good to have the boss's chart, but don't tell him about it, or don't tell her about it while you're studying this, because you don't want to get the boss put off at you. Because not everybody's ready to understand all of these sensitivities. They'll see some as good things and bad things, and if you happen to touch a bad thing, they'll think you're putting them down and they'll blame you. So you have several charts you're working on your own, you have a few other people to compare to, see how they can be differently. And later on, you'll look at famous people and other people, you'll be watching all sorts of things. But right now, you just need a few that are intimate, that are personal, that you have experiences with, so you know them well enough to see these things. And sometimes something come out you didn't see, and then you look, can that be so? Then you ask the person about it, and you find, yeah, it was, and you never chanced to look. So, okay, masculine and feminine, this is the fourth category, and it really shows projecting or reflecting as applied to that planet or that level of consciousness, as applied to your memory or your reflectiveness, or your push and your energy, right? So we have to deal with each layer of planets to see how this works. So, okay, here I just have the seasons were put in there out of order here. The season should have been with the last one, where you see each season. We've done this. You see the different colors, but that's the freedom, responsibility. And then you see the projection, reflection. So I do the projection, reflection. Just when we do those 4 seasons, that's the end. The daylight's increasing, nighttime's increasing. Daylight is greater, nighttime is greater. Second category. Third category is which season, which puts those two together. Then you get the seasons, and then you have the masculine, feminine, which is the projection or reflection. So you take that attitude, and you're going to project it, or you're going to react to it, or reflect on it.